Good day everyone, my name is Joseph Kyle L. Alinyar. I am the third reporter of the Chapter 6 or the Ethnic Geography. Today I will talk about the rising tides of nationalism. So what exactly is the rising tides of nationalism? Well, let's talk about its origin first. Well, rising tides of nationalism originated from the past events, just like in World War II, World War I, and the British colonization. Because of these events, particular events, the native people or indigenous people or the immigrants or migrants per se were affected by these events, and in this topic we can finally know why there are ethnic groups or cultures in different states. So let's move on to our agenda. Our agenda is, or the topics that I'm going to tackle, or the concepts that is under the rising tides of nationalism. First, we have the charter cultures, followed by the ethnic islands, followed by the black or African Americans population. Fourth, we have the Hispanic concentration. Fifth, we have the Asian American contrast. And lastly, we have the Quebec. Let's move on to the first concept, and that is charter cultures or charter groups. What is exactly the difference between these two? Well, let's talk about charter groups. Charter groups, ito yung ang grupo ng tao na nakatira sa isang lugar or isang state. Example, here in the Philippines, diba, each province in the Philippines have different groups. Example, Mindanao has Bisaya people, Luzon has Tagalog people. So bali ganon. While charter culture, bali ito yung dominant culture ng mga tao. For example, here in the Philippines again, na ang culture na, di ba natin, or our folkways, norms, mores, di ba, is our language, like our language, our beliefs, di ba, is Filipino, di ba, ganon. So that is the charter culture, that is the most dominant culture na ginagamit natin. Okay. So in charter culture, we have a geographer named Wilbur Zelensky. Wilbur Zelensky, doctrine means belief, by the way. He believed that the first effective settlement the first effective settlement principle is this. I'm just going to translate it in Filipino so that it could be understood, okay? So according to Wilbur Zelensky, ang sabi niya dito, kahit gaano pa daw kaliit o kalaki yung lugar na i-invade ng mga invaders, i-conquer nila, i-colonize, whatever, kahit gaano pa daw kalaki yun, di pa din daw mawawala yung pinaka-dominant, yung first, or should I say, yung first culture na nandun or grupo na nandun sa lugar na yon. Example, di ba dito sa Pilipinas, we were colonized, we were invaded by the Spaniards, Americans, and Japanese. But despite all of those things, nandito pa din tayo. We still are using our culture, especially our language. But although our language is a bit improvised nowadays, but still the idea is there. Example, di ba, nagmamano tayo, nandun pa din yun. Kahit gaano na katagal yung nangyari. Kahit may nangyari sa noon, na especially yung sa Spaniard days. Okay. And also, Wilbur Zelensky also doctrined that, or believed that English has become the most, or should I say, became the national language and the common legal system. And sabi dito, ang nakita daw ni Wilbur Zelensky is that most people nowadays are using English, diba? They are using English to communicate with other people. Kaya napasabi siya na, okay, yung English na lang, okay, so English is the most dominant language of all. Kasi ginagamit siya even in legal systems, kasi diba, legal systems, kahit ano pang yung system na yan or whatever the language, may English talaga na involved. Kaya napasabi siya ng ganun. And also, he also saw that English has become the charter group of all. Okay. Ethnic islands. What is ethnic islands? Well, ethnic islands, ito yung mga lugar na pinagtitirhan ng mga ethnic groups. So my groupmates or my fellow classmates have already discussed ethnic groups. Dito natin malalaman why, kung saan sila nakatira, and that is right now ethnic islands ang tawag doon. Example in United States. 'Di ba in United States, maraming states yung, of course United nga, maraming states yung US, 'di ba? And in different states, may mga iba't ibang mga tao na nakatira doon, or different race, different ethnicity, 'di ba? Ang tawag doon is ethnic diversity. Although they share the same norms and share the same folkways, somehow iba yung mga race nila or facial expressions, ganun. And itong mga tao na ito nakatira ito sa mga particular na lugar. Just like in this table, makikita natin 'di ba na each color represents a people na nakatira sa lugar na 'yon. Example, yung French, Black Americans, ganyan, 'di ba? Makikita naman natin diyan. So that is ethnic islands. Okay? So let's talk about the third agenda, which is the black or African American population. So in this topic, dito natin malalaman why yung mga tao sa South Africa is nagmamigrate sila sa United States. Well, ganito kasi ang story niyan. Back in 20th century or in World War I, the Black American experienced a civil war sa kanilang lugar, which forced them to migrate. And in World War I, they were enslaved by the English people. Okay, they were enslaved by the English people, and when they are given freedom and they are no longer enslaved, doon na sila parang nagparami sila sa United States. Okay, kaya ngayon may natatawag tayo na mga Black Americans or African Americans. And kaya dahil dun sa mga nangyari sa dati, kaya nga nasabi ko, ang rising tides of nationalism yung mga past events sa topic na ito is may impact talaga. Okay, let's talk about Hispanic concentrations. Hispanic means ito yung mga tao that has an origin from Spain or Latin. Okay, and they are only migrated to America, kaya natawag sila na Hispanic. Okay, Hispanic subgroups. Okay, concentrations naman kasi marami sila sa isang lugar na yon. Example, sa United States, marami sila sa isang state ng United States, marami sila doon. Example dito sa table na ipapakita ko. 'Di ba? Ang makikita nyo dyan na ang pinakamarami is ang Mexicans, which is equivalent to 35.1 million and 63.6% of the United States. 'Di ba makikita natin na gaano sila karami? Kaya nakatawag sila na Hispanic. Ito yung main point ng Hispanic concentration. Okay, let's talk about Asian American contrast. What is Asian American contrast? Well, Asian American contrast, tinawag itong contrast kasi ito yung mga tao na may origin from the Asian countries and they moved from the United States. Example, in United States, lumipat sila, parang paulit-ulit yung cycle, ganun. Kaya tinawag sila na contrast. And also, in this topic, dito natin malalaman why or gaano karami or why they migrate to United States. Well, according to the book that I've read, most mga Asian people move from United States because of their visas. Okay, because example, yung student may opportunity siya na magkakuha siya ng visa dahil sa immigrant law. Kaya ayun, lumipat siya from United States, and after mga ilang years, pwede niya kunin yung pamilya niya doon sa dating home niya, home place, pwede niya ipadala dun sa United States. Kaya ayun, well, and the more the cycle, when the cycle goes on, dumadami sila sa United States. Okay, ganun. Bali ganun yung cycle. And most Japanese and Filipinos, they can be found in Hawaii, while Chinese, they can be settled everywhere in the United States. Example in the table that I'm going to show. Diba dito makikita natin na ang pinakamadami talaga na Asian na lumipat from United States in 2016 is the Chinese. Diba makikita naman natin dyan kung gaano sila karami, and the total of Asians who migrated to United States are 200,000 plus. So let's talk about the final topic, which is the Quebec. Quebec or Quebecers are the French-Canadian people who lived in Canada. And tinawag silang Quebecers kasi sila tong mga tao na nag-migrate from Canada to Canada from France, okay? And also, they can be ito yung ethnic groups nila or ethnic term nila doon sa Canada, which is the Quebec, okay, Quebec. And most of the Quebecers can be found in the Quebec City. And in Quebec City, they have this symbol, which is the hotel, and the name of the hotel is this, the Chateau Frontenac Hotel. This hotel symbolizes the Quebec, that they are the French people and they migrated from there. And also, the Canadian law or the Canadian governments agreed that these people must be respected and they should keep their traditions in the Quebec City itself. Kaya ayun, dun sila nagparami sa Quebec City, yung mga Quebecers. Kaya parang na-realize na ng mga tao doon na or ng government na okay, they should be respected because these people means a lot, okay? Kasi may agreement yung Canada sa French dati, kaya ayun, nagkaroon sila ng agreement sa ganyan na lungsod. So I hope you understood.